So Ray brought us an interesting stat the other day. He said Andrew Wiggins has more career points than Kawhi Leonard. Go ahead, Ray.
I mean, honestly, I think it kind of tarnishes Kawhi legacy a little bit. I mean, he's gonna be a Hall of Famer, but it's just the fact that you got a non Hall of Fame player that has played 3 less seasons than you,
At your position, too.
and he has more career points.
Yeah.
I know Kawhi is known as a two-way, but I'm like, Kawhi, you still a bucket getter. So like that's I don't know. Me personally, when I view greats, I hold them to certain standards. And like Chris was saying, Chris said that Kawhi, and it really started with the Spurs, and really, in my opinion, I feel that kind of set him back because he was
Oh,
sitting out with one injury.
mhm,
They said it was a little altercation in the locker room where Tony Parker questioned him on it,
mhm,
and he started feeling some type of way after that. Next thing you know, next season he's with Toronto.
mhm.
So um
You feel like he's overrated?
He just don't play enough.
I don't think he's overrated because the numbers are there when he's out there.
He's not overrated. He just don't play enough. He don't get on the court.
Okay, Chris. You see why you got a lot to say? Go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
Bro, cause like before we got disconnected, like, cause I told Ray, I was like, I feel like Greg Popovich did him a disservice in San Antonio. I understand that he got hurt and you got to sit for that, but he was also including him in that load management with them older players like a Duncan Ginobili and Tony Parker. I don't need my young gun sitting down when they sitting down. That's why I got you to be my young gun. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Now, as of right now, if something wrong with the leg, okay, cool. I don't know if a surgery went bad or something. We don't hear nothing when it come to him, but it's just it's kind of hard, bro. It's hard when there's just a pattern of the same shit. It's a pattern of the same shit, bro. And it kills me that it's like everybody else in the league gets talked about when they don't play. I mean, we talk about John Wall when he sat out that year. We talked about AD when he sat out that last year with the Pelicans. But it's like, goddamn, are we gonna bring this nigga up? I
But
understand he.
do you think it's because it's winning bias and playoff performance bias? Because we can't act like Kawhi is one of the greatest playoff performers we done seen in our lifetime.
And that's my other problem too, because just like I was telling Ray, he has said that he don't too much care about the regular season, which I can understand. Some players do feel like that when you just know that you have the type of caliber team that should get to the playoffs. Some of them take it easy in the regular season. That's why we see a lot of this load management now. They play just enough to get at this point. Niggas is playing just enough to get to a 6 seed.
Yeah.
That's what they're doing. They're just trying to avoid a play in. But Kawhi Leonard been doing that since a play in came into the motherfucking picture.
Yeah.
I mean, the only other time where you can say that legit helped them get to a final series was with Toronto because he had all the leverage. He had all the leverage. When he wanted to sit down in Toronto, guess what? He sat down. But now it's just like, bro, you get hurt more when you don't play.
Yeah.
You get hurt more when you don't play. And it's like motherfuckers have been killing Anthony Davis for the past 2 years for not being able to stay on the court. But don't nobody bring up Kawhi Leonard.
Can,
Don't
can,
nobody bring up Kawhi Leonard. You done can't. First of all, we understand you won that chip in Toronto. You done came down to LA with this New Balance shoe with a promotion talking about the king of LA, and you ain't even made it to a Western Conference Finals. You haven't. Your team has, but you weren't there, Bucko. You weren't there. I'm sorry. I'm just. It's just. I'm just. It's hard, bro. It's hard. And it's sad because he's going to be put in the Hall of Fame. He's going to
already
be put
NBA
in there.
75, y'all. He's already NBA 75. That's better than the Hall of Fame. NBA 75. Y'all
I'm like,
the Hall of Fame. He's 75, man.
And I'm just like,
he's going.
And bro, that's what I'm saying. He's going. Like, and that's just, I mean,
let me ask y'all this: is he NBA 75? Is he one of the 75 greatest players to ever play?
The only thing that's tarnishing him, bro, is he don't get on the court. I mean, I understand that he shows up when it matters, which is what you want from any of your players, but it's like the regular season got to count for something. I mean, he has no regular season MVPs. I mean, what else do we have to go off here other than because I think he got what he got some all defensive teams, don't he?
Yes, I think
he's been
a defense player of the year too.
Yeah, I was going to ask, has he been because I can't remember. Has he been defensive player of the year?
Let me look it up real quick since I'm up here already.
Yeah, he was the MVP of 2 finals, but it's like
I want to say he got a defense player of the year that same year he won a finals.
Yeah, I feel like he got one. I just
player of the year. He's a steal.
Okay.
7-time all defense, 5-time all defense, 2 times following MVP.
It's just God damn it, man. I just need to see him on the court more. He's just missed too many games.
It's just like I always bring it back to LeBron because I try not to be biased. Like how I knock LeBron for certain things, like because it's everything. You can easily say LeBron is the greatest talent the game has ever seen, the greatest whatever.
All around, yeah.
All around player. But when you talk about greatest, you have to bring in everything. Even when you talk about the 75 greatest players, you have to bring in everything. So I don't feel like Kawhi has played enough to say he's one of the 75 greatest players because he hasn't.
Exactly.
Played.
You ain't punched the clock enough. You ain't punched the clock enough.
But at the same time, he's a 75 talent though.
Who would take his place in your opinion?
You said who? You said what?
Who would take his place in your opinion on that list?
Dwight Howard.
Dwight Howard should take. I mean, it's a lot of people on that list that's kind of questionable, to be honest.
Or are we talking about somebody in his position that should take his place? Like this, that plays the same position that he plays?
Somebody who's more deserving.
I would say I feel like leaving off Clay was nasty. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, if we gonna put somebody in that kind of like damn near same kind of position, I would say Clay.
Why not done more than Clay?
Oh, shit, Clay got 4 chips. I mean, I understand that. I understand like he was never. I understand that Clay's never going to be Finals MVP as long as he has Steph over there by him. But rings got him. I mean, rings got to matter somewhere. And Clay has been on defensive teams.
They have the same amount of All-Stars. Clay's been all defense. He's been all NBA a couple times. He's averaged more points over his career. He's shot better overall in his career from every percentage. So it's like,
Clay got snubbed.
Kawhi is a better player, but I take Clay's resume.
This thing, Clay has more rings, but Kawhi also has rings. Kawhi has Finals MVPs. Well, he was the definite best player on the team. Clay has never ever been even in a playoff series the best player on the team.
We know Kawhi is better. But
we get Kawhi has better accolades, but I'm saying, come on. I'm not even gonna use that argument just because Damian Lillard's in there, bro. Come on now, stop it. Damian Lillard is there and doesn't have near the accolades as Kawhi. I'm not disrespecting them, but we can't. We gotta
take Kawhi off, and we got somebody who has way less in his career.
No, Damian Lillard got less than Clay in here.
That's what I'm saying. Like, Dame should be removed before Kawhi.
I completely agree because Dame was shocked he was on there. He was shocked himself.
But I do think Dame is one
of
the greatest talents, though.
No, he is a 75 choice talent, but
I'm gonna say talent.
I guess if we gonna say as far as like, but as far as like career wise, Dame was shocked that he was on there. The two players that
I don't think he should have made it. I wouldn't. The thing is, because I have a problem with Westbrook and Harden too, but they're NBA MVPs. So I feel like Anthony Davis and Dame, you could take them out. I feel like,
Westbrook was gonna make it because of that triple double thing.
but that's what I'm saying. And they have MVPs. You can't not have it.
Huh?
Westbrook is definitely a top 75.
No, that's what I'm saying. But I'm saying like he's
Russ is a top 75.
He's
Like
top 75.
I know
Harden top
he's
75.
top 75.
It's like their careers is kind of like in terms of just like careers.
Harden
like in terms of
top 5.
I mean, shit, Russ since Russ been in the league, was he
But you remember I said everything. Yeah, as individual performers, they're great. They're great as they're 75 great as individual performers. But in terms of success wise, no, neither one of those guys ever led their team to a finals. Is being the guy.
Not a top 5 shooting guard.
But remember, I said my criteria is everything. As an individual, James Harden should be NBA 75, and he is. He's an NBA 75 talent, and he has the individual resume. But I'm saying he doesn't have the team success resume. And that's why
the only thing that got Kawhi in that top 75 spot is his playoff success. Because if we get to talking about regular season, there's no way he should be there. I mean, I understand that to some people, regular season don't matter that much, which I get that. It's what you do in the playoffs, but it's like you gotta get your record in the regular season in order to make it to the playoffs. They do give out awards in the regular season that he's been awarded, but it's like when you don't play, you're more likely to get more injured because you're not down there. You're not getting hit. You're not banging against another player. You ain't getting swiped at, on a regular basis. So it's like he came in, I know earlier this season for that one game, then he went out again because his knee wasn't feeling right. I get that. If you ain't right, you ain't right. But it's like, shit, when are we going to get to a point to where it's like, okay, what is really going on with you, bro?
This is Kawhi's last opportunity to be viewed as one of those type of dudes.
Because ain't this his last year on his contract with the Clippers?
I don't know.
Because I think he signed a 3-year deal, and I don't think he signed an extension.
Even if it's not, this is last year to prove to the masses that he's one of those guys. But hey, I do have to say this: he was on Tatum ass. Him and Paul George.
And that's what I'm saying, bro. That's what I'm saying. When he plays, he plays.
Kawhi's played in 6 games, y'all, and he outperformed the 2 best wings currently in Tatum and Brown, and an MVP candidate, and he hit a game winner. He done did all these things in 6 games. We got to keep that.
But when he plays, though, I don't believe that Tatum and Brown is better than him. The only reason why I feel like we're not putting him in top 5 in his position is because he don't play. If he's playing, we know who he is. There's no question about it. Availability, exactly. So you have to be available for me to put you at a certain level, and just your availability alone. So, like, it's hard for me to put you in a certain spot, even with the success that you've had in the playoffs, because we know once you get to the playoffs, it's crunch time. And I'm going to say this again. Motherfuckers say all they want to about that goddamn bubble playoff run. There was no reason why they should have lost 3 games in a row to Denver to go to the Western Conference Finals to play the Lakers.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He was the leader of that team.
That's true.
And like I said, and I understand that people try to knock, they won it. Like, nigga, that was a neutral site. Wasn't no crowd to throw you off. Wasn't no hecklers. Wasn't no nothing. This was back in middle school where you had fans on this side, fans on that side. It was just ball. So there was no excuses.
You could definitely say Kawhi's been disappointing in the Clippers, but even
with
when
the Clippers
in the playoffs, he's looking amazing. We can't forget.
And because
he played better than Luka Doncic, and Luka Doncic was having an all-time performance. You know what I'm saying? We do got to keep that as consideration. If it wasn't,
I ain't gonna say
they would have lost to Luka and the Mavericks, a one-man army. They would have.
No, I ain't gonna say that it was just Kawhi, because you had Kawhi and it was both of them.
I ain't gonna say it was just Kawhi, but Kawhi was still the reason, though. He
absolutely.
He ended off Luka's all-time performance with another all-time performance that was better.
Yeah, that's all it was. Because if you just had, because let's say if I'm gonna say if it was just either one or the other, if it was just Kawhi or just PG, I feel like the Mavs win that series. But when you got both of them and knowing that shit, the rest of the Mavericks, goddamn me, Luka got to pretty much carry their ass to the goddamn rim for them to make a shot this year.
Okay.
I mean,
so
to stay on topic, on topic though, like I said, I'm not trying to take away the talent of what Kawhi, but just like you said, availability is the best attribute in the player to me. Can you play?
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, while you sitting over there and you still hurt and rehabbing, I still got to write your ass a check. Yeah. I need you to play.
It's just my thing is when he plays, he's awesome. And
he is, and that's going to be the only, and that's going to be the only reason why after this, if this is his last season with the Clippers and they don't re-sign him, that's going to be the only reason why he gets signed somewhere else, and they go hand him the keys again, the same way the Raptors did, and the same way the Clippers did.
I think he's at this point where he's going to understand. He's in the same situation as LeBron. He has to be a 2, and I really only want to play in the playoffs. I think he's gonna get to that realization.
That's the only way that he can get away with it, because you can't be a 1 and want to sit out as many games as you're sitting out.
But the thing with Kawhi is he's done already in these few games he's played, he's done already showed more of himself than Clay has showed of himself. And
absolutely.
Jamal Murray has showed of himself. So I'm saying you do got to take that into consideration because he's been hurt as long as those guys. And he came back hitting game winners. He came back performing against the best player at his position.
Yeah, him and Jamal was hurt about the same amount of time. Maybe, well, Jamal I think was hurt because Jamal missed all of last season. Kawhi did too.
Never been number 1 guys.
That's true.
Jamal was number 1. Jamal Murray was the number 1 only in that Utah series when him and Donovan was trading haymakers.
I feel like that Jamal Murray injury fucked up his ascension. Because I feel like Murray,
I feel like he pretty much started back from where he was at, because that was one of the greatest series where just you got 2 players going back and forth like, hey, let's get it. That's one of the best series I've seen in a long time. As far as you just got 2 players just like, all right, you go down there, you do something. Hey,
we're not gonna do it on this episode. Probably one episode in the future, but we got to talk about guys like Donovan Mitchell and Jamal Murray, who's not gonna ever be the best player on a team, a championship team, but they can be Finals MVPs. Like I feel that way. Donovan Mitchell, how he played against the Mavericks yesterday, that dude is ridiculous, bro. And it's just like you have to build a team around him in a certain way, or he has to be on a team in a certain type of team.
So you don't think that Donovan is the best player on the Cavs right now?
Yeah, but I'm saying like he's not a Jokic, a LeBron, a Luka, a guy like that. He has to have a team tailor made to his skill set for him to succeed. Like he's a great player, but the tier of great player he's on is like he needs everything to go right, if that makes sense. Like,
well, he's just one of them players. He's one of them players. I feel like he's gonna be great, but when you talk about team basketball, I feel like he's just one of those players that needs a point guard. You need somebody that can effectively run your offense.
I put Mitchell in the same vein, not as good as Allen Iverson, but he's a guy in that type of mode where he's a high volume scorer, but you trust him. You trust him as a high volume scorer, you know. So that's how I feel about that. But so
back to this league.
What can Kawhi do for y'all to be back on board? That's what I'm saying. And what can he do for y'all to be completely off?
Consistency.
He got to give me 60. He got to give me consistency. He got to give me 65 games
this year.
It ain't gonna happen this year.
How many games this year for you to still be on Kawhi? Still a top
finish out the season.
I done pretty much gave up on this year. I mean, unless he just surprises me as far as, because I feel like the Clippers could still make it to the playoffs just because they still doing okay.
No, whoa, hold on. I'm not gonna say can still make it to the playoffs.
Ain't they
The Clippers are number 6 in the West. They gonna make it to the
playoffs. That's what I'm saying, bro. Like, bro. Now the West is crazy this year.
No, I'm saying if you saying they're healthy, Paul George and Kawhi have only played like 2 or 3 games together, and they've
been nuclear.
That's what I'm saying. If we're assuming health, Clippers make
if Kawhi can at least play, because if the knee is bothering him that much to where he really got to limit it, if he could give me at least 40, 45.
Yeah,
that's what I mean. And his numbers are still consistent, like where they are now, and doesn't really show me too much of a stinker as far as like a bad game. I ain't gonna say I'm back on the train as far as like his talent, because I know what he can do. But after this season, I have if he does that this season, of course they go to the playoffs, do what they do. But after this season, bro, I gotta see at least 60 games. I gotta see at least 60,
Can I give y'all
65,
a Bucks Grizzlies update real quick? Because I was on the Grizzlies earlier. It's 94-63. Memphis is.
Excuse me?
Yeah. It's 94-63. 5 minutes left in the third quarter.
Okay, and you said who was hurt on who team?
Only Drew Holiday out. But Desmond Bain out too though, so it's kind of even.
Oh, okay.
You can't get blew out by.
Yeah, 30, you still shouldn't be getting your ass whooped like that.
Giannis is better. They're getting beat by 33 points, and it just was 3-1. It's going to be 34. Dang. I had to bring that up because I was on the Grizzlies train, and they're just killing one of the best teams in the league right now.
I mean, you look at the history of basketball, you can literally cherry pick and be like, man, the team that went on to win a championship, you can go to their season and be like, man, they got killed by 30 points by this team.
Lord, I'm pushing my narrative, dog. You ain't got to hit me with all that. No, I'm just playing, but I know it's just one game. It's just one game, but I was talking up Grizzlies, and they're killing the Bucks right now. I'm just talking them up. But we can move on to our last and final top.
As I said, when Giannis lose one of them players, I still
think I still think Giannis is here to a certain extent.
I said it, and here you are naming off scores, and they getting the dog shit behind us.
Nah, they're getting killed. This is.
I just said this.
31.
I just said this. I need you to make that a short, and then I need you to say what I said, make it a short, and then I need you to show the score of that game. Because I just said this.
I ain't gonna lie, Chris.
As soon as one of them niggas get hurt, you know what? This is beautiful. This is just beautiful. This is gorgeous. I just said this. How long has it been? 45 minutes, and they get dogs on.
Crazy and one layup. Okay, hey, final topic. So I'm gonna watch the because it's crazy.
This is gorgeous. This is nothing but God. This ain't nothing but God.
Last topic of the day, and this is a perfect segue because we just talked about how Kawhi smacked Tatum in a head-to-head matchup earlier. But Tatum has been playing the best basketball of his career, and he's definitely, in my opinion, and Ray's opinion, the front runner for MVP. But is Tatum the best player in the league, in your opinion, Ray Nord? Because that's what you said. Go on, defend that, sir.
Okay, so I say that Tatum is the best in the league simply because, like you said, he's a front runner for MVP thus far. He's on pace to be all NBA first team. He's on pace to be all defensive team, possibly first team at that. So with those three things already lined up, and he has the best team in basketball right now. Mm-hmm. With him being the sole reason.
No. You said the sole reason?
Yes. I'm about to. You won't let me finish my sentence.
You can't say sole reason though, but go ahead.
So with Tatum playing his best ball in his career, he's now allowed Boston Celtics to finally follow suit with who is the alpha male on their team.
I agree, but
with him lining those things up, I'm not saying when I say sole reason, I'm not trying to say he's single-handedly out there just willing his team like every game.
Yeah,
I'm saying that he is at the top of every reason you can think of. He's going to be the top reason, though.
So you saying he's the best player because he's the best player on the championship looking level team? He's the best player on the best current team?
Before they made the championship last year, was we even calling them championship contenders? No.
Mm-mm.
But what happened once Jason Tatum started playing at a certain level last year? Because at first they wasn't playing that great at the beginning of that season last year. Let's be clear.
Because their best player was inconsistent.
When his level raised, what happened to that Boston team?
Yeah, they became one of, in my opinion, the best team in the league.
That's my only problem with Jason Tatum because is the inconsistency.
DJ?
What's that?
Jason Tatum is playing at a high level.
Mm-hmm.
It's clear cut why Boston started playing at a higher level.
But my thing is, he still has consistency issues. Still.
That was the only thing I was about to say.
He's shooting 47% this year. Like,
that's fine.
But when he went against,
he's going to have games because he literally did it against Miami. He played Miami back to back. He scored 49 one game, and in the next game he played them, he only scored 14.
So how can you beat? Come on, bro. It's like Giannis doesn't have 14-point games in the playoffs.
No, I'm talking about this season. I'm not talking about.
I'm just saying, like, just period. It's like when you elevate a guy to the best player in the league, you have to consistently perform to even where you're having a bad game, you still can be viewed as the best player on the court. I don't think Tatum when Tatum's having a bad shooting game, he has defensive impact, but outside of his scoring and his defensive impact, how much what makes Tatum special? Like he's a two-way player, but I can't say he's the best player in the league because he's not. It's really just as simple as that. He's a top 5 player based off play and team success, but he's not the best player in the league right now. It's not even
at this moment in the season.
Mm-hmm.
Tatum is. I mean, I'm not saying that he's a better player than Giannis. I'm saying
if you say he's the best player in the league this year, that's what you're saying.
I'm saying this year, I was just watching a clip where this one guy said in 04-05, Kobe was not the best player.
Mm-hmm.
That don't mean he wasn't that don't mean that we know Kobe was the best during that time, but for that particular season, Kobe was not the number one guy.
Okay.
You can't give somebody the number one guy just because, man, that's my favorite player during that time. Or, man, the season before, man, or the seasons before that. He was this season in particular, Jason Tatum has raised his play level to anybody's level. You can't put anybody above him. So at that point, all you can go based off of is, what are they doing to make their teams better?
But right now, you gotta look at it like this too, though. He's the best player on the best team. It's not debatable. He's definitely the front runner for the MVP. It's not debatable. But saying he's just clear-cut the best player, everything has to be taken into consideration. 1 year of consistency, they ain't even played 40 games yet. You just can't say he's the best player. You have to say he's the MVP front runner. But to say somebody's the best player, that takes track record and it takes playoff performance into consideration and trajectory into consideration. I agree with you. He's an MVP candidate and he's the front runner for the MVP. But I'm not going with you that he's the best player because Jokic is still playing. Giannis is still playing. Embiid is still playing. Luka is still playing. Like Curry is still playing. Durant is still playing. You can't just be like, yeah, he's just automatically better than those dudes. Because they're still averaging all 30 plus points a game. It's like 7 guys averaging 30 plus points, and they
So
still had a
so
team.
we're gonna throw Shy in there then, because he averaging 30 points a game.
I didn't name him. I didn't name him.
You say it's 7 guys averaging 30 points.
No, I'm saying
it's
it's high caliber. It's high caliber players right now. Like you can't just say he's the best player just because he's having a great start to the season. That's why I said I'm with you. He's the best player on the best team right now, and he's the MVP front runner. That's different from being the best player in the league.
Where he started last year in the second half of the season,
and
it rolled over to this season.
Okay, that makes him the best player in the league.
No, you making it seem like he just started this high level of play or something. Like he's been doing this.
But he has to keep doing it though. You got to understand, Jokic, Giannis, Luka, Curry, Durant, they've been doing this consistently year in, year out. You can't just hot Tatum up just because
Durant is a better player than Tatum at this point in their career.
No, I'm saying you just can't just say Tatum just like without a shadow of a doubt better than all these guys. It's an argument. That's what I'm saying. He's better.
What's crazy is last year we laughed at Tatum because we was like, he's probably the worst number 5 we've ever seen in the league.
Yeah, exactly.
Look how much more serious we taking him now.
That's true. No, I give you that, but there's a difference between being an MVP and being.
I ain't even gonna say that. I mean, I've been looking at Jason Tatum the same since that Eastern Conference Finals when he went against Braun when he was in Cleveland. It's just, when are you gonna turn it up, bro? When are you gonna keep it there? Because we know what he can be. It's just it's just a consistent thing with me. Now this year he has been a lot more consistent, but he has had a couple games where it's like, all right, JT, what the fuck you got going on, bro? Like, case in point, like how you said with that Miami game, this is a regular season game. If this is like you got to play a team 2 times back to back in the playoffs and you drop 14 points, it's a problem. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not saying that he's clearly the front runner just based off he's the best player on the best team, but those inconsistencies are literally the only blemishes that somebody would bring up if you were to put somebody else over him. Because it's like,
is he the only top 5 player right now that has some bad games this season? Because I guarantee if we go to the game logs and look at every top 5 player right now, we're gonna be like, whoa.
No,
listen.
He will have a 30.
No, I'm not saying that nobody has had games, but I just feel like
he's more
games that Boston has lost has been because he's had a bad game. That's my only thing. Like I understand you can go ahead.
I think he's the less efficient player in the top 5, even though he's an MVP front runner, he's still less efficient than the other top guys. Everybody else is more efficient.
In today's era is shooting 47% from the field inefficient. That's crazy.
When Luka is averaging 34 points a game, shooting 50%. Zion averaging 25 a game, he's shooting 61%.
You do realize 2 things can still be right at the same time?
But no, that's what I'm saying. It's not, you can't just
because you're more efficient doesn't make me inefficient.
You just can't clear cut say Tatum is better than Luka, Giannis, and Embiid and Curry. You just can't say it's clear cut he's a better player. He's an MVP front runner right now. That's all I'm saying. But I'm not gonna say he's a better player than the guys that I've been saying was better than him for the past few years. It's gonna take more than this to say he's the best player, if that makes sense. MVP and best player is 2 different things. Garnett got an MVP in the same era as Duncan and Dirk and Kobe and Shaq, but we all know.
Bring up Dirk because at that point Dirk was not even on their level yet, so don't do that.
That's what I'm saying. MVPs don't make you the best player. Steve Nash got KG
not the best player.
Never the best player in the league.
Was KG not the best player that season?
That's KD. That's KD. But I'm saying, like, nobody said he was. He won his MVP, and people were still saying LeBron's the best player in the league.
I thought you was talking about KG. I heard KG. My fault. But KD for that particular season.
KG too.
Huh?
KG wasn't the best player. He wasn't the best player in the whole league. He was
That can be
never better than
argued.
Duncan. He was never better than Duncan. Never.
It can be argued. That's what I'm saying. It ain't like you can't just go out and say, yeah, Duncan was definitely better than that year. You can't say that.
That year, a year doesn't make you a better player because you have a year before, a year after, and years to
We're
come.
talking about a particular. We can't. How we gonna go based on everything that happened before this year? That's not fair to argue.
No. Okay, okay, look, I'm gonna put it like this. If Giannis had, the year Giannis had last year, the year Giannis had before that, the year Giannis is having now, it's like it's still up to par with Jason Tatum, but Jason Tatum is playing better and he's a part of a better team. But Giannis is still right there right now. He's still right there. Jokic is still right there. Luka is still right there. He's only in front because of his team success. If he was the 4th seed in the East, Giannis would be the MVP. So I'm saying the gap is strictly based off team success, not individual performance. You can't just be like he's a better individual player than Giannis.
Everything is taken into account. They don't just
that's what I'm saying. To say you said best player. We're talking about best player, not just MVP.
Name me a player in NBA history that was not on a contending team and they was considered the best player that year. Most of the time, the best players of every season.
Giannis is still on a contending team, though. Jokic is top 3 in the West. It's still contention. That's what I'm saying. And they're come on now.
Denver is not a contending team.
They're number 3 in the West.
I want you to save that memory for when the playoffs start.
Okay. I'm not betting against Jokic in those 7 game series with everybody healthy on Denver.
Wait a goddamn
How many
minute.
times we gotta say this for Denver? If they healthy, how many times
we gotta see? I said if this year goes through and I feel like the health is up there for Denver and they still don't make it, then I'm gonna go bump Jokic down. That's what happens. He ain't got no permanent spot. Nobody do.
The list is fluid.
The list is fluid.
What Stephen A. say? The list is fluid.
Nobody got a permanent spot, but that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. We only saying Tatum is better than Giannis this year because the Celtics are just.
I know dominant. Damn well it is not the third quarter, and the Bucks gotta go through 12 more minutes of a beatdown.
It's 117-71.
That's a damn shame.
I don't even know what that is. I don't even know how many points that is. But
it's like a 40.
Bro, that's a 50 burger. Damn near. It's about to be a 50 burger.
So Chris, you feel like Tatum the best player in the league?
No. And the only reason why right. I don't he's a front I still don't think he should even be the NBA the front runner because I understand that you the best player in the best team, but I'm looking right now. Because I'm looking at pretty much the games that they done won and lost. Because right now they done played. Oh, I missed some more games. Wait a minute. So one game he didn't play against Washington, they won.
Everybody gonna beat Washington.
Washington's on like a 7-8 game losing streak. They trying to get
so pretty much, with the exception of one game. Every game that Boston has lost, and if we bring it up plus minus, he's been a minus.
Yeah.
So anytime he plays bad, he still gets his points. So even with all that, so let me see here. I'm gonna go through all the losses. So first game of the season, the first game they lost against the season. Against Chicago, he had 26 points, but he was a -8. Shot 44% from the floor, 50% from 3. When they lost against Cleveland,
that's still pretty good though.
Yeah, he still got his points, but if his plus minus is in the minus, they lose.
It's hard to say in the plus when you lose though. Don't
Huh?
matter damn what you. It's hard to stay plus no matter what you do if you lose.
That's crazy. He got a minus for the Cleveland game, and I'm looking at what he did.
Yeah, he scored 32, 57% from the floor, 42% from the three.
That's a blemish too, Ray. That's a blemish too, because Cleveland a top 3 team and he lost
He
to them
shot
twice.
58% from the field.
They lost twice.
Yeah, he lost against Cleveland twice, lost against Chicago twice,
Lost to the Clippers,
lost to Miami. See, he had a zero for his plus minus against Miami in that loss, but he only scored 14 points. And yeah, he had a bad shooting game. Yeah, JT, he had a bad shooting game. He shot.
That boy killed the Mavericks.
He killed the Lakers.
Yeah, but see, this is the inconsistencies I'm talking about right here. So I'm looking. So this game against Golden State, he shot 28%. This game against Golden State, he shot 28%. This game against that second game against Miami, 27. I guess you can round it up to 28%. Game against the Pelicans, they won, but he shot 33%. Atlanta, they won, he shot 31%. It's just a consistency thing.
That's a lot of that's a lot of inefficiency. I'm gonna say that.
Chicago, 35%. It's just some inconsistencies as far as his field goal percentage.
Bro,
that's probably the only thing.
Are down 50 points. Keep going, Chris. My bad.
50 burger. I already told you. 50 burger. 50-piece wings, fried hard, lemon pepper. They getting cooked.
Now Giannis is 3. This is unacceptable in terms of MVP race. This is unacceptable. Right now, I literally bumped him down. This is unacceptable.
Bumped him down in real time.
But keep going, Chris. My bad.
Yeah, but that's pretty much it. If we just talking about, he just has too many inconsistencies as far as his field goal percentage. Now he hasn't lost every game where he shot bad. The team has come together to get it done, and that's crazy because in the games that the games that he lost, shit, he shot pretty damn good, but he was still a minus in all of those games.
I just think, man, I feel like he's a great two-way player, but he's a volume scorer still, though. It's like he's not as efficient as the top guys. He's a volume scorer that just happens to be a great two-way.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a really good three-point shooter. But like at the rim and mid-range, he misses more than you think he should because his three-point percentage is not the problem. It's like he'll have random games where he's not hitting layups or these floaters he shoots or the mid-range jumpers is not falling. He has an efficiency problem. So he's still my MVP front runner, but it's not a wide margin for me to just be like he's a
he ain't just running away with it.
And he's the MVP front runner, but he's just I'm not gonna say he's the best player in the league.
Oh shit. Yeah, I mean, I get it. I know why he has it, but I'm with you. I'm with you on that. Like I said, I mean, right now, he is because he's the best player on the best team, but he ain't got too many slip-ups before he lose that top spot, in my opinion.
Hey, we're not gonna forget this either, Chris. Right now, I think Jason Tatum the best player in the NBA right now.
I don't see that, dog.
I'm not forgetting this. Now,
what player do you think is better?
I think Giannis is better. I think Luka is better. I think
glad you brought up Luka. I'm looking at his stuff right now. Since y'all want to cherry pick Jason Tatum, I'm gonna cherry pick Luka.
Go ahead.
He's the MVP.
You go right ahead, brother.
What the hell? I ain't say Luka's the MVP.
I'm not even gonna mention the losses that he got to contenders. I'm gonna mention the losses that he got to teams that's not even in the playoffs.
We're not saying nobody said Luka's the MVP or the best player in the league.
You just said he better than Jason Tatum, though.
He is.
I do believe that. That's an individual thing. That ain't a team thing.
If you put somebody over the MVP front runner, that's saying something.
No, that's two different things. You can win an MVP and still not be the best player in the league. Derrick Rose was never the best player in the NBA. Steve Nash was never the best player in the NBA, Reynard.
Steve Nash, okay, I give you that. But Derrick Rose, he got an argument.
No, he was not.
He has an argument for that.
I don't care. Year. He wasn't better than. He was never better than LeBron James.
He has an argument for that particular year. Now, what happened in the playoffs is totally different. But in the season, he has argument to say he was the best player that year. Nobody can ever just say in one season, I'm the definite best player. You only got a handful of people that can say that.
But that's what I'm saying. Jason Tatum's not one of them. You saying he's that. I'm telling you he's not.
When did I ever say it was clear cut that he was the best player?
Oh shit! Don't try to back.
I said in my opinion, he's the best player.
Okay.
That don't mean that nobody else has an argument.
Okay, that's fine. But you could say he's better than Luka right now because like you just had that argument and everything leaning in Tatum's favor. But you know the truth. You know the truth. You know that you would rather have Luka Doncic than Jason Tatum in your personal opinion if you had to choose one of those guys.
Jason Tatum comes to the Mavericks right now. The Mavericks are not a playoff team. I'm sorry.
The Mavericks.
That's just how I feel about it. Jason Tatum would have to carry that. Jason Tatum had to go goddamn me 50 points a game to carry the rest of these bums.
To carry that Boston team.
No, Jaylen Brown is a top 12. A top 12 scorer. He's a top 15, top 20 player in the league.
When Kyrie got hurt, who became their best player? Rookie Jason Tatum.
What?
You said what?
Got hurt his rookie year. Who started carrying the team?
Who else was on that team, Reynard?
Who else? Who was on the team?
Wasn't Gordon Hayward on that team?
Why did he
nah. Gordon wasn't there.
Jaylen Brown was there.
Jaylen Brown was there. Terry Rozier was there. What's that? Marcus Smart was there.
With good players his whole career, right?
It was young. And Jason Tatum was literally
I don't give a damn. He still was good and he was playing with good players.
Jason Tatum was not that yet as a rookie. And the fact that he stepped up because Kyrie was always was injured.
Jason Tatum's a good player. He's always been. Jason Tatum was good out of Duke. Jason Tatum was like a top player coming out of high school. Jason Tatum was always looked as a great potential player right now.
Okay, look at what Jason Tatum did his rookie year. He was not that guy yet. His numbers jumped tremendously in the playoffs because he had to do that.
Okay. I get you that.
In the regular season, nobody looked at Jason Tatum as, oh, man, he's a top player. He established that once the playoffs started because he had to do that.
Even without Kyrie Irving, his team was still a good team, bro.
No, it was.
They played that whole playoffs.
Marcus Smart, Jaylen Brown, Terry Rozier. How come it's not?
They didn't play the whole season without him.
They didn't, but the playoffs is when it mattered, my boy. You make it all the way to the Eastern Conference Finals and take
without Kyrie at all on that team.
I'm finna go to it.
You said what?
Do they make the playoffs without Kyrie at all on that team?
You be talking.
I believe they do because they played better without Kyrie. Because remember, he came back the next year and they did not look the same.
This dude,
it was more experience. They got better. That's a whole new year. I hope you do.
So you telling me you got better and you can't play with a better talented so you telling me you can get better, but you can't get better with Kyrie. Like I understand they got better, but come on, bro. They played better without Kyrie, but then you have that skill playing Kyrie and you can't make that work.
He had.
What year are you looking at, DJ?
I'm looking at his rookie year against Cleveland.
It was him. He had Jaylen Brown. He had Marcus Smart. He had what was that big that center they had? Was it Aaron Baines or whatever?
No, real quick, Chris. I'm just gonna talk about his individual performance. He took Cleveland to 7, right? He had 16 points the first game, 11 points the second game, 18 points the third game, 17 points the fourth game, 24 points the fifth game, 15 points the sixth game, 24 points the seventh game.
And this is rookie Jason Tatum.
Okay, but don't put him where he shouldn't be put. He never had over 25 points, and he only scored over 20 twice.
How many? Bro, there you go, cherry picking again, bro. How many?
No, you was trying to make it seem like he had an all-time great performance in the playoffs his rookie year. Stop. That's what you was trying to make it sound
I said
like.
he became their number one guy when Kyrie went there. I didn't say he started going crazy.
He averaged 18 points.
And
As a number one guy, that's not nothing to
be
be
a number one guy yet.
You just said he was the number one guy.
What are you talking about?
Kyrie got hurt. Kyrie was the number one guy. Then he got hurt, and then Jason Tatum had to become that guy.
He had to become that guy. He wasn't all that though.
A guy who wasn't number one yet took a Cleveland team that went to the finals to Game 7.
It wasn't just him, Raynard.
Who was their number one player when Kyrie went down?
Game 1, Jason Tatum had listen. Game 1, Jason Tatum had 16 points. Marcus Morris had 21. Jaylen Brown had 23. Al Horford had 20.
What was their averages for that seat?
I'm finna go game by game, sir.
No, what was their averages for the whole series?
I'm finna go game by game. I'm finna tell you. Game 2, Jaylen Brown had 23 points. Jason Tatum had 11. Terry Rozier had 18. Al Horford had 15. 2 games in a row, Tatum didn't score the most on his team. 2 games in a row. Game 3.
Name that first one again. Wait a minute. Say that first one more time.
Hey, don't just come up on here saying stuff. Game 1, he didn't lead his team in scoring. He had 16 points. Marcus Morris had 21. Jaylen Brown had 23. Al Horford had 20. Game 2, he didn't lead his team in scoring again. Al Horford had 15. Rozier had 18. Jaylen Brown had 23. Marcus Morris had 12. Jason Tatum had 11. So 2 games in a row, he was the number one scorer on his team. Game 3, he was the number one scorer on his team. He had 18 points. Terry Rozier had 13, and Jaylen Brown had 10. So that's 1 game out of 7 he led his team in scoring. Game 4, Jason Tatum had 17 points. Jaylen Brown had 25 points. Terry Rozier had 16. Al Horford had 15. Game 5, Jason Tatum led his team in points. He had 24. Jaylen Brown had 17. Horford had 15. 2 players off the bench had 13. Game 6. Terry Rozier had 28 points. Jaylen Brown had 27 points. Jason Tatum had 15. Another game he didn't lead his team in scoring. Game 7.
Sound like Jaylen Brown was the number one.
It sounds like Jaylen Brown was the number one guy in that series.
What did he shoot that series, Jaylen Brown?
Jason Tatum, game 7, had 24 points.
Shoot that series?
Al Horford had 17 points. Jason Tatum had 24.
You going game by game, cherry picking. What did Jaylen Brown shoot that series?
Cherry picking, he didn't lead his team in scoring.
You naming off
I'm gonna go back. You asked the question because it don't do it like that in terms of
hold on. Let me see
right now. If Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum swapped field goal percentages, boy, you would be cooking Jason Tatum right now. So I want you trying to change. No, you trying to change to stay on what you said about Tatum and his rookie year. Stay on what you said about Tatum and his rookie year.
No, I want stay on what you said about Tatum and his rookie year. No,
same energy you keep when Jason Tatum shoot bad. So all these games he's shooting, he got the most points and he's shooting terrible.
Raynard, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? I'm going to tell you. Let me tell you then.
Jaylen Brown was the leading scorer, but he was shooting terrible those games.
Let me tell you. Okay, Jaylen Brown, game 1, he had 23 points. He was the leading scorer on the team.
I don't want to hear about game by game. He shot 44% in that series. That's terrible.
You said he shot what for the
series? He shot 44% for that whole series. That's terrible. You talk about Jason Tatum being
44% is terrible.
50% that Jason Tatum shot 50% that whole series. I don't want to hear nothing about who led the team in scoring. Jason Tatum was their most consistent scorer. He only averaged one more point than Jason Tatum did. And you talking about he led their team in scoring. He averaged one more point than that boy.
You said he was clear-cut the number one. That's what you said.
If he didn't lead one more point than me and you shooting terrible.
Out of 7 games, he led his team twice in points. But he the number one guy. You said he was doing that. You said he didn't have no help. You was acting like he didn't have no help. You was acting like Kyrie went down and he had nobody. Stop it. Jason Tatum been playing with a full squad since he came into the league. Stop it. You just dry saying stuff now. You got cooked. Acknowledge you got cooked. Jason Tatum wasn't just the supreme guy in his rookie year in the playoffs. We just seen it. Terry Rozier and Jaylen Brown was right there with him.
Terry Rozier averaged 13 points that series. You're not about to act like he was up there with them. Tatum and Brown averaged 19 and 18. Terry Rozier was not up there with them. Stop trying to put him up there with him.
He had help.
He shot 37% that series. So keep him out of that. Keep him out of that list. It's not the same. Tatum was on another level than that guy.
Okay. And scored less points?
He averaged more points that series. He averaged 18. Terry Rozier averaged 14 to 13 points, shooting 38% from the field.
Okay, you don't average 18 when you score 11 points.
You act like he didn't have no help because Kyrie went down. You act like Jason Tatum just carried the Celtics. So did Jason Tatum carry the Celtics right now? His rookie year in the playoffs, did he carry them? Did he carry them? You said he carried them. Did he carry them?
I didn't say he. I said he was their number one guy.
He was the number one guy. So he was their number one guy. You still say that? And he only led.
You change your argument for whoever you like. If Tatum shot the way he on that Brown shot, you would not have said.
I would have went with your nonsense if I didn't look it up. I would have went with your nonsense that Tatum just was going off like the number one guy when he didn't lead his team in scoring. In the Game 7 series that you would love to bring up, in the 7-game series that you love to bring up to try to say Jason Tatum been doing this since his rookie year. It's always been him and Brown right there together.
I clearly told you. I said Jason Tatum was not the Tatum we know now his rookie year, and he
but
was forced into a role that he was not ready for yet. I said that when you get done on rolling this tape, I want you to go back. I said he was not ready for that role yet, but he was forced into it. Okay. I said that.
Whatever. You said something, and when we went game by game, I know in your head you was like, "Oh damn, yeah, I cooked you."
No, because once we brought up the series stats, you started looking like, "Oh, he was the leading scorer, but he was doing it inefficiently. He was jacking up shots."
He shot 56% the game 1 when he had 23 points. I just told you that. I tried to keep going game by game. You didn't want that. It's a 7-game series. You gotta go game by game. It's a 7-game series, and we're talking about how Tatum was the best player in the 7-game series. I was trying to go through it and see.
I want to know what you did overall, and he did terrible overall.
Who?
Brown.
So 44% is terrible. That's what you're saying. 44% not terrible.
Bro, you know the standards. If you don't shoot at least 45 or above, anything underneath that is just like, eh.
You just said it was terrible. Was it terrible? You just said it was terrible.
Hold on a second, because Kobe shot 45% for his career, and people say he's inefficient. Is that a fact or not?
45% is not inefficient. You got to take it.
What is
you got to take into account them last few years when he was dog shit, bro.
What do people get on Kobe about? His inefficiency?
He was a volume scorer.
He shot 45% and people still say he was inefficient.
And you talking okay, but he wasn't. That's a bad argument. 45% is not inefficient.
I'm not saying if it's a good argument. I'm saying, what do you hear people say about Kobe when it comes?
I don't care what people say. I have my own opinion. I watched 20 years worth of basketball. So anybody else's opinion is okay. I can say something else. I think something else. 45% is not inefficient. That's what I'm telling you. I don't care what nobody else say.
So you applaud 44% shooting?
In year 2, yes. In the playoffs against LeBron James, yes. And he was the leading scorer. Being the leading scorer in the Eastern Conference Finals for your team, shooting 44%, that's commendable in year 2. Yes, it is. It's not?
So is 50% not commendable?
It's commendable, but you was trying to paint a narrative like Jason Tatum was just the non-negotiable go-to guy when Kyrie was out. When we looked it up, it is not that.
You be taking my words and
so what you say? Okay, I'm shut up. What you say? What you say? Go ahead.
I literally said, he was not that guy yet, but once Kyrie went down, they basically forced him into a role he was not ready for yet.
And he wasn't ready for the role, and Jaylen Brown averaged more points.
Jaylen Brown wasn't ready for the role yet.
But he still averaged more points and had better overall games. Still. Jason Tatum was going up and down that series. 11 points here, 24 there. Like, come on, bro. It is what it is. Jason Tatum was better than Jaylen Brown. But he didn't outplay him his rookie year.
The fact that Jaylen Brown only averaged one more point than him, and he had all those crazy games he was going off, it wasn't crazy enough.
Okay, Ray. You was trying to make it seem like Tatum was just clear cut the guy his rookie year when we just literally went through it and said he wasn't. It was 1A, 1B then.
I never said he was the clear cut anything.
You said he was the guy. He wasn't the guy.
I said that.
They were the guys. They were the guys.
Next man up. That's all I care about.
You were trying to make it seem like he had some crazy rookie playoff performances. He wasn't doing it. Relax.
Jason Tatum. Hey, DJ say Jason Tatum playing like two cheese.
I was like 2 cheese, but he wasn't playing to what Ray Noir was trying to lead me to believe that I almost went with it. That's why I got so mad. Right now, I'm making it seem like Tatum was just going off. I had to go look.
His greatest achievement was that dunk on LeBron. Look at that.
That's what Ray Noir remember. That's all.
The dunk.
Nigga say, man, I ain't trying to hear that. But that was pretty much it. Anything else y'all want to cover? We pretty much covered everything on our topic list.
Shit, if y'all want to, if y'all give me like 2 minutes, we can do that Sean Marion thing unless y'all just want to hold on to it.
I think we're gonna start doing that in the summer. Stuff like shit like that. Like we're talking about the old school NBA in the summer and shit like that. I want to keep it like while the season going, keep it on the current NBA season. Because as hoop historians, we owe it to the current season to be historians on the current season as well.
Okay, well, let me see. I can say that one.
It's 140 to 95. That just looks crazy.